Joel.
On our national broadcast with the IMCA Modifieds, the 32nd Annual Budweiser Nationals, we will take you through the lineup once we get these guys on the track and get them organized. We're going to start on the inside of row number 1 out of Corbett, Oregon, sponsored by Discount Race Car Parts, Swear Trucking. That is Superman Colin Weinbarger. On the outside of him from Apple Valley, California, in the 14 BT, that is Blake Thornell.
In the second row on the inside, the 9J machine is piloted by Jordan Hagar out of Bakersfield, California, Chester Avenue Brake. On the outside of row number 2 is the 07T machine of Randy Thornhill.
Third row looks like this. In the 9 XXX out of Bakersfield, California, that is Chet Reeves. Starting next to him in the 11X, very, very fast, that is Kyle Heckman.
Bringing up the tail end of the longest line, the number 15 machine is the Bill Engleston. On the outside is the 21 JT machine of Justin Crockett. We're going to go green flag racing next time by race fans. Let them hear you!
Here we go out of turn 4. Look at him over. We've got a green flag. Great start for Superman Colin Weinbarger. Weinbarger will lead the field through turns 1 and 2 up on the top side of the racetrack. He is your leader up front, running second in the 14. That is Blake Thornell. Lap number 1 in the books. It is Weinbarger, Thornell, the 07. Randy Thornell running third. Everybody side by side. Look at the X car running in the 5th spot, making a big move at a turn 2 down the backstretch. It's Kyle Heckman. Heckman now racing for the 4th spot underneath the 9 of Jordan Hager. Going to go side by side at the turn 2 right now. Weinbarger all by himself up front in the lead at the stripe. We'll take you through the running order. Colin Weinbarger, your leader. Then is the 14B of Blake Thornell. The 07 is Randy Thornell. Then it's the 9, Jordan Hager. Oh, trouble in turn 2. Heckman gets together with the 22D of Ryan Davies. Caution is out. Caution is out here on lap number 4.
Well, Corey, we've seen a lot of action, but the story of this race, we haven't talked about him yet, that 22D machine. That machine started at the tail end of the longest line here in Bakersfield tonight, and piloted by Ryan Davies of Bakersfield, California. He's worked his way all the way up to the 5th position here.
He is flying right now. And taking a look through the field, your leader out of Oregon, Colin Weinbarger. The kid they call Superman, Blake Thornell, running second. Third place, the 9J of Jordan Hager. Then it's the 07T of Randy Thornell. Right behind Thornell is the 9 XXX of Chet Reeves. Kyle Heckman in the 11X was part of that little tangle down there in turn 2. He's going to go to the back of the pack. The 15, Bill Eagleston from Outwater, sits towards the back of the pack. We're going green flag. They are not messing around here at the Budweiser Nationals. Everybody on the throttle once again. Weinbarger, great start in the Superman car. Working that middle groove out of turns 3 and 4. The Thornell boys running second and third. Right now, the man on the move in the number 22. Ryan Daves. Now, Dave's going to go side by side in a battle for 5th with Justin Crockett. Look at Dave's on the bottom. He's really getting hooked up out of turn 4. Crosses it up on the throttle. Still right there with the 21J, Justin Crockett. Crockett way up on the high side through turns 1 and 2. Going to take a run on Eagleson down the backstretch. The best race on the track right now. 3-car battle between the 9. Oh! Crockett into the turn 4 wall. Bounces off, stays on the hammer.
Weinbarger out front. He just keeps making that lead longer and longer, putting more distance between him and the 14 of Blake Thornell. White flag for Colin Weinbarger of Corbett, Oregon.
Weinbarger all by himself, about a 10-car advantage out of turn 2 down the backstretch, makes his way into turn 3. Thornell still running second, the 07. Weinbarger picks up the win. Thornell for second, Thornell for third, then Hager and Daves, your top 5. Crockett, then it's the 9 XXX of Chet Reeves. Heckman will finish just behind the 9 XXX of Reeves, just ahead of the 15 of Eagleston. Good run for Colin Weinbarger, the kid from Oregon. I'm going to watch that 22D this week. That he was flying in the 22D of Dave's.
I agree, Corey. The 22D of Dave's, he is just absolutely going crazy up, working his way from the back of the pack all the way up to the front.
Heat race number 2 for the IMCA Modifieds rolling on the track right now on the inside of row number 1. In the 14P is Ryan Porter. Outside of him from Bakersfield, California, in the number 24, Roger Holder.
On the inside of row number 2, the 49 machine, they call him Tricky Troy. That is Troy Folger. Outside of him is the 32 machine of DJ Shannon.
In the 3rd row, driving the number 07X out of Bakersfield, Troy Morris Jr. Next to him in the 5L from Torrance, California, sponsored by Bartels, Harley-Davidson, WFO Industries. That is Cody Laney.
4th row is inside Josh Combs on the 1-2 machine, and outside the number 7 of Chris Crompy.
Then it's Brian Clark in the back of the pack in the 51B underway. Just took the green flag. Your leader up front in the 14P, Ryan Porter. 3-car battle side by side into turn 4. Here comes Folger in the 49. Folger going to move to the number 2 spot. Going to drive it hard into turns 1 and 2. See if he can get by Porter, your leader up front. Laney now starting to move through the field in the 5L. Up on the top of the racetrack. Laney down low looking for the 3rd spot. He'll take it away at the stripe by a mere bumper. Going to go side by side through turns 1 and 2. Laney and the 24 of Holder. That is a battle for the number 3 spot. Folger running a strong 2nd behind the 14P of Porter. Those are your top 4. Running 5th in the 7 is Chris Crump out of Napomo, California. The 7 and the 07, Troy Morris Jr. They're in a battle for the 5th position.
Front cars are still saying single file around the racetrack. Your race leader is still Ryan Porter. 2nd is Tricky Troy Folger. Slicing and dicing going on about middle of the pack between the 07 and the 7.
Yes. Watching Troy Morris and Crump. They are slide jobbing each other
Turn
back and forth.
Folger's going to look to the inside. Porter not going to have it on that.
Troy Folger putting the pressure to the 14P of Porter. Porter doing everything he can to hold off the young men of the 49. Good race up front in a battle for the top spot. Here comes Folger. Has to touch the brakes. He lifted that left front tire, dropped the hammer. So far, not good enough to get around the 14P of Porter.
But look at Cody Laney. He's made his way all the way up to 3rd place. He's watching Folger and Porter battle out, saying, hey, guys, I'm here and I'm waiting.
Cody Laney carried that left front tire all the way down the back stretch as a tight battle now for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd positions. They're all nose to tail through turns 1 and 2. Porter up on the high side. Here comes Laney with the run. Look at that car flex. He carries the left front down the backstretch. Porter on the bottom out of turn number 4, looking to pick up the win at the stripe. Troy Folger by an inch, just over the 14P of Porter. Cody Laney will finish 3rd. Then the 24 of Roger Holder. Rounding out the top 5 is the 7 of Chris Crump. What a run. Did you see that at a turn 4?
Oh, my gosh. You know, when you start talking Tricky Troy Folger or Cody Laney, those 2 guys right there, they've been battling out week after week. And I'll tell you what, those are some 2 really good talents we've got here in the Modifieds this week.
Incredible talent right there. What a race. Heat race number 3 for the IMCA Modifieds. We've got some talent in this one. Hang on, race fans. Starting on the pole in the number 07 DEX. That is Troy Morris III. Next to him on the outside from Bakersfield, California in the C9. That is Chad Reichenbach.
In the number 11 double X, that is Robert Sanders. The 41 starting on the outside of row number 2, that is Danny Lauer.
On the inside of row number 3, driving the number 198 out of Bakersfield, California, sponsored by Dojo, Terry Henry Race Prep, Rosedale Automotive, that is Robbie Sawyer. Next to him out of Chowchilla in the 98, Alex Stanford.
Row 4 looks like this. On the inside is the 174 machine is Buddy Shepard. On the outside, the 28H of Daryl Hughes.
At the back of the pack in the 28B from Bakersfield, California, John Piker. Look at this already. 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. Keep your eyes on the 198 of Robbie Sawyer. Sawyer now makes a move to the 3rd spot. Here comes the 98 of Stanford. Stanford going to battle for the 4th position. Hang on at the back of the pack. Spin from the 07 DEX of Troy Morris. He keeps it going. No caution. We're still battling up front in the 11 double X. Here comes Rob Sanders, the Sandman, battling Reichenbach for the top spot. Here comes the 198 of Sawyer, the Sandman on the bottom out of turn 4. Sanders takes over the lead. Reichenbach running 2nd. Sawyer. Then it's the 41 of Danny Lauer. Those are your top 4. Alex Stanford rounds out the top 5. Look at this race up front. Sanders, Reichenbach, and Sawyer. Sawyer trying to earn again the 9 of Reichenbach. He'll do it in the battle for 2nd. He takes over the 2nd spot.
The 11 double X machine still out front. Rob Sanders, the Sandman. He's going to stretch that lead out over the 198 machine of
That is Robbie Sawyer in the second position. Here comes the 41 of Danny Lauer. Lauer getting by the 98 of Stanford. A little bit of contact. Hardcore dirt track racing here at the Bud Nationals. Lauer now starting to move in the bottom. He's going to challenge Reichenbach for the third position out of turn 2. Reichenbach drives away. He's got the hammer down, trying to reel in the 198 of Sawyer. Sawyer sitting in a very strong second behind the 11 double X of Sanders. Both of those cars working the high side through turns 1 and 2.
Look at Lauer. He's going to go on the inside on turn 1 and 2. He's going to try and get past the 9 car. He's not going to hold him off. But that 98 machine right behind him, piloted by Stanford, he has some power. He's got some grip. Let's see if he can make something happen this next time around.
Stanford in a bad position behind Lauer in the 9 of Reichenbach, trying to get by those guys. Nowhere to go as they continue to battle side by side. Now, Reichenbach clears the 41 of Lauer. White flag is out for Sanders in the 11XX. Sawyer running second at the stripe for third. It could have been any one of 3 cars. It went Reichenbach, Lauer, Stanford. They were bumper to bumper, nose to tail. And your winner out of turn number 4 in the 11XX taking the win. That is the Sandman, Rob Sanders. Robbie Sanders will finish second. Look at the battle for third out of turn 4. Reichenbach. Stanford edges out the 41 of Lauer. Then it's the 28 of John Piker. What a run. Did you guys see that battle?
Oh, my gosh. I'm used to seeing Stanford and Lauer put on shows during Wild West Speed Week up in Oregon. Those two guys, they have talent, hand over fist.
And everybody in the top 5 could have won that race. An incredible job of driving. You saw him 3 wide at times. Heat race number 4 for our IMCA modifieds. We've got another good one coming right at you on the inside of row number 1 in the 222. That is Scott Drake starting next to him in the 175 out of Bakersfield, California, sponsored by VC Chassis and Parts, Simpson Suspension, KB Pump Supply. That is Ethan Dotson.
On row number 2 on the inside, the man, the myth, the legend. Up north, we call him the Crown Prince of Bakersfield. That is Bobby Hogue. On the outside of him in the 2J machine, that is Justin Schweitzer.
Row number 3 in the 766, that's Joe Antonetti. Next to him in the 1P from Bakersfield, that legend here in California, Mr. Brad Pounds.
The 96A machine starts on the inside of the 4th row, making his way from Watsonville, California. That is Clay Daly. The 111 starting outside him is Logan Drake. And the 5th row looks like this. On the inside in the V13, making his way all the way from Staten, Oregon, that is Gray Ferrando. Corey, this is going to be one stacked heat race. You got Hogue, Ferrando, all the way from Oregon.
We've got 9 cars for 8 laps. Logan Drake in this one. Bobby Hogue, Gray Ferrando, Clay Daly. I mean, how do you put so much talent in one? Here we go out of turn 4. Look at them over. We've got a green flag. We're going back to racing here from the Budweiser Nationals. Your leader up front in the number 222. That is Scott Drake. Here comes Bobby Hogue. Hogue now getting by the number 1. The 175 of Ethan Dotson. They're going to go side by side at a turn 4, coming to the stripe, lap number 1. Scott Drake, your leader. Here comes Bobby Hogue. Hogue going to take a look downstairs, trying to find something. Dotson running 3rd. Here comes Hogue, trying for that top spot out of turn 4. Not good enough to get by Drake. Drake, Hogue, Dotson. Here comes Brad Pounds. Scott Pounds, as Scott Pounds in the 1P, moving into the number 4 spot.
Hogue's going to look to the inside of Scott Drake. He's not going to fail this time by out of turn 4. Going to look to the inside. Not a line he's been running this race in turns 1 and 2. It's not going to happen that time around.
Your leader touches the wall in turn 4. Bobby Hogue slides by. Scott Drake will lose 2 spots and possibly a 3rd one, as Brad Pounds going to drive by him out of turn 2. He's going to fight back on the high side. Drake and Pounds side by side into turn 3 in a battle for the number 3 spot. Your leader up front, Bobby Hogue. Hogue looking very strong in that number 2. A little bit of damage to that right rear quarter panel.
Scott Pounds is trying anything he can to get around that 222 machine of Scott Drake. It's going to be slicing and dicing. Scott looks to the inside in turns 3 and 4. He's going to drift up. Is he going to close the door? No, he leaves it open, and Drake gets by.
He didn't get by him yet because Brad Pounds is still right there with him. They're banging doors at a turn 2 down the backstretch. Great racing for that number 3 spot at the stripe. Bobby Hogue now with about a 7-car advantage. There's the white flag. Dotson, Pounds, Drake, Then it's the 766 of Joe Antonetti. That is your top 5. Gray Ferrando sits back there in the number 7 spot behind the 2J of Justin Schweitzer. Your leader, Bobby Hogue, picks up the win.